Hi, I'm Robin Harris, and I'm the librarian for Urban Community Studies at our Carruthers campus on the South Side, as well as the Communications, Media, and Theater librarian.
And I'm Michelle O. I'm the librarian that works with the College of Education. We want to welcome you to Northeastern Illinois University and congratulate you on beginning your journey as a graduate student here.
We know for some of you, maybe it's been a while since you've been in school and have had to do research. For others, maybe you know your way around a university library, but you need to know how to use the resources here at Northeastern. So today we're going to show you around our library website, tell you about the services and resources we offer, and also talk about Google Scholar and how to get materials from other libraries. So graduate level research is probably going to be a little different than the research you've done as an undergrad. It's going to be more in depth, probably more subject specific, and you might want to schedule a research consultation with the subject librarian when you get started or if you get stuck. So every program at Northeastern is supported by a librarian who can help you in your discipline. You can meet with us about defining your research question, narrowing or broadening your topic, what are the best databases and journals to find peer-reviewed research, and the most efficient ways to search the library resources. We actually have research guides to get you started. These are located on the library homepage, and they will let you know who your subject librarian is and the best places to look to get started with your research. We have more than 250 databases here at Northeastern, and to save you time of figuring out where to search, we highlight your best options for your subject area. We're not asking you to memorize any of this today. It's a lot of information, but we just wanted you to become familiar with our library resources and let you know that we're here for you when it comes time to start your research. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now and start on our library homepage. So I'm going to take you to the research guides that I had mentioned. So we're starting on our library homepage right here, and I'm going to go to research guides, which is this yellow box about halfway down the page. So as you can see, we have 52 different guides. Like I said, one for each discipline and a few extras. But I'm going to start today at our education research guide, which is Michelle's research guide. So no matter what discipline you're in, what research guide you're in, most of them are laid out basically the same, with helping you get started on how to look for books, journal articles, websites, and other resources that are specific to your discipline. So today I'm going to focus on journal articles, since that's probably one of the main resources you're going to be looking for when you come to our library if you're going to be using our online resources. So I'm going to go ahead and click over here on articles. And as you can see, out of those 250 databases, we've isolated the few that are going to be really your best bets if you're dealing with anything having to do with education or in the College of Education. So today I'm going to take a look at education abstracts. And once you learn how to use one database, you're usually going to be, even though some of them might look a little different, they're pretty good. It's pretty good chances if you learn how to use one, you're going to know how to use the rest of them. So today we're going to do a research on, let's look for graduate student success, right? That's what we're all interested in today. So we're going to do a search on graduate student success. And as you can see, I came up with over 2,600 articles from my graduate student success. But let's say I want to limit these. I don't want to look through that many, and I have some limiters that I want to use. So anything on the left side of the screen is going to have to do with limiting. So for today, I want to just check out peer-reviewed articles, which means that they came from a peer-reviewed journal. So I'm going to check this box. And let's say I only want to look at things that are from the last 10 years. So I'm going to go ahead and update this. So I'm just looking from 2010 to 2020. And I'm going to do that over here on the left side of the screen and update my search. So this narrowed it down to 1,400 articles, which is still too many, but for without limiting anymore with my keyword search or anything else, we're just going to take a look at these right now. So I wanted to show you a few different ways how the articles are going to be discoverable in the database. So I'm going to click on the second article right here and take a look at this. And if you're not familiar with it, this is, you come to like an information page, which is the first part of the article. So you're going to get all the citation information, the authors, the source, what kind of document it is, what the subject headings are it for, and the abstract, which is like a summary of the entire article. And I just also wanted to point out, as long as I'm here, a few things over on the right from this page is some of these tools, and some are more helpful than others, but from this toolbar over here, you can save articles to your Google Drive, you could email them to yourself, and I wanted to just take a second to show you the citation button, which can be really helpful if you haven't used this before. So if I'm going to use this article and I'm interested in getting a citation for it, if I click on the Cite button, it'll give me these citation formats for all of the different citation styles that are used. So for example, if you're going to cite something in APA, you could just go ahead and scroll down to the APA reference citation and copy and paste it into your bibliography or into your notes, however you're going to use it. Word of warning though, the information here is only as good as it was entered. So you still want to check the formatting against an APA style guide, or if you're going to use MLA, same thing. You can copy and paste it, but still double check it. All right, so if I want to get to full text of this article, there's a handy link right here that'll take me directly to the full text. So if I click on this, I end up directly in the PDF. So from this point, I could download it, save it, print it, do whatever I want with it, but I have the PDF right in front of me immediately. But I want to show you another example of what happens if we don't have the full text as a part of the database search. So I'm going to go back to my result list and click on, I'm going to look at article number 3. So when I get to this article information page, there is no link over here that says full text. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this blue button that says find it at NEIU. This might take a second as we switch to a new platform, and sometimes the searches take a second to load because we're off-site. So at this point, we're still waiting for another section of the page to show up under links. And if you see, it says view online full text availability. So I have a couple different options here. So this means that we have the full text available. It just wasn't in the database that I was originally searching. So if I go ahead and click on this link, it's going to take me directly to the article. It's just in a different database. So I can get to the full text PDF right here. I could download it from here. But regardless, I have it. It's right in front of me. It just took me an extra click or two to get to it. So I want to show you one last thing in my result list. I'm going to go back to article number 1. Boot camps for graduate student success. No full text. I'm going to click to the Find It at NEIU link. And as long as we're waiting, spoiler alert, I'll tell you right now that we don't, Northeastern doesn't subscribe to the journal that this article came from. But that doesn't mean that you can't get to it. Sometimes, depending on how you're searching, if it's through Google or something, you might stumble on an academic article that has a paywall in front of it that says, give us your credit card information for $24.95. You can have this article right now immediately. And you should never pay, once you're a tuition paying student, you shouldn't have to pay for the research. We have relationships, our library has relationships with all other different libraries. We can ask for that article, even if we don't subscribe to it, we get it through somebody else through Interlibrary Loan. So I have to sign in, which is going to be just my net ID. And I'm going to log into WorldShare. So for the first time, when the first time you use this, you're going to have to answer a few questions just to set up your account, but it's all linked through your net ID, your Newport, the same login you would use for your NMail or to get to Newport. So in this situation, I am looking for this article. So I want to request it through WorldShare Interlibrary Loan because it wasn't in the database, nor do we have it in a different database. So it's going to ask me who I'm affiliated with, which is Northeastern Illinois University. It's going to ask for my net ID and password. and it will take me right to the request form. And because I'm coming through our library database, the really nice thing about this is it auto fills in the entire citation. So you don't have to worry about any of that. It's going to have the journal title, publication date, volume, issue number, all the information that you need, and your contact name and info. So you would just hit submit request. And we usually say allow about 48 hours to get access to a link that would send you the PDF directly. But in this situation, just know that even if we don't have it at NEIU, you can easily get the PDF through our Interlibrary Loan. So I basically just wanted to review with you the 3 different ways you're going to find articles once you're searching in our database. The PDF is either already going to be there. You might have to click it on the Find It at NEIU button to get to it through another database, which is just an extra click or two. Or if we don't have it, you click it at Find It at NEIU. You would go through WorldShare Interlibrary Loan to get the article within a day or two. You'll get an email with the link to the PDF. So that's just kind of an overview. Again, we're not asking you to memorize any of this, but just to give you an idea of the best ways, the most efficient ways to get to our research. So I am going to hand it over to Michelle now.
And I'm going to talk about using Google Scholar, our iShare system, as well as how to reach out for additional help. So I'll start with Google Scholar, and here we go. I'm going to open up a tab in my window, and you can either Google the word Google Scholar or put scholar.google.com, whichever one of those things you want to do. I'm a big fan of this database when I know the title of an article that I need, because it does a really good job of identifying articles that we need full text to. But it also has some tools that make it nice to start research as well. Google Scholar searches through academic journals, but also books, and a little bit confusing, it also goes through student work. So that's something that you'll want to be mindful of if you're not sure why you're seeing the kind of results you are. But the things that I want to focus in on are just how to understand a basic record, but also how to set up your connection to the NEIU libraries through your Google Scholar settings. So I'm going to just do a sample search on research skills in graduate school, because that's our theme. And here we go. And as Robin mentioned earlier, basically, if you know how to search one database, those skills transfer to other ones. So here, what I want is probably more recent. So right now, we're just looking at a bunch of different records, actually over 2 million, that have these words in there from a long period of time. So I'm going to go to a custom range. I generally recommend the last 10 years or so of research, depending on your topic. That's not a hard and fast rule, obviously, but if you're thinking about something, I think that's a nice place to start if you're unsure. So I'll go ahead and update my search results. And once I do that, I see a bunch of different records. And what you'll notice is that the articles are displayed with titles, and then additional information about the article itself. And then there's a bunch of tools underneath. I'm actually going to go ahead and take us down to, let's see, a record down here that says graduate student library school skills, is online instruction effective? And the reason I'm showing this particular record is I want to show you some of the issues that Google Scholar presents when you're off campus. So when you are off campus, there's no way for your Google Scholar settings to recognize you as an NEIU student unless we do a special set of settings, which I'll show you in a bit. But when we click on the title for the record, what it does is it takes you to the publisher page. And when you're here, there's no way for us to connect you to already existing NEIU resources. So that's another way of saying this will take you to the page that asks you for money, and we don't want you to do that. But obviously there's important things here that will help you, like the abstract and more information about the article that you want to look through. But to actually find the full text, we want to go back into Google Scholar. And you'll see here, there's no link that says something like PDF from wherever that you might access it for free. There's also no Find It at NEIU button. And if that happens, if you see these little carrots down below, there's an option to also request it through NEIU. And if we click on that, you'll see a familiar page. This is the same connection page that you saw in the other database, and it'll start to load your options. So here we can log in, and anytime you log into something on the library website, it's going to be your net ID and password, which you use to log into your Nmail or D2L. And I was already logged in, so it brought me in there. And now it's telling me that we don't have the full text, but that I can request it through WorldShare Interlibrary Loan. I won't demonstrate that because Robin already showed you, but I'm going to go back um, and show you how to make this connection from Google Scholar to the Northeastern Illinois University Library resources. So if you go up to the top, there's these 3 lines, and we'll have to go to settings. There's a link for my library, which feels a little counterintuitive, but that just saves your references. But what we want is to go into settings and then find library links. And when you go here, you can search for Northeastern. And what happens is you'll see that you're presented with some options. And when I click on this button and hit save, that's what allows Google Scholar to pull in these view it at NEIU links or get it at NEIU. So now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the NEIU Libraries homepage to show us how to do a basic search. And to take it a step back, I'd like to introduce you to the system that we're a part of. It's called iShare. And so Northeastern Illinois University's libraries is a part of a group of libraries in the state of Illinois that are mostly college and university libraries. And we share books with over 90 of them in Illinois. So in other words, what that means is that you have access to the books at University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, as well as DePaul, and you can request books for free. You can request things for about a month, and you can renew things for up to 3 times. So the thing that a lot of people like to use iShare for is to try to get books that are required readings for courses. And the way to actually do that is to search the main search tool from the library website, which you can get to by searching NEIU libraries. And this search box is going to take you to books, movies, and articles. And I'm going to just show you a basic search on how to find a book, especially through iShare. We're going to stick to our handy theme on research and graduate students. In all caps. Actually, let's do it. It won't actually matter, but. And as I'm searching, this is actually searching through not only our library, but it's searching through the iShare library. So again, the over 90 libraries in Illinois that we share materials with, and then also libraries that are not a part of the iShare system. So this could be all over the world. So what I could do is I could actually make this more narrow and go, if I wanted to find it through NEIU libraries or all iShare. But right now, I just want to see what we have. So what we can do is maybe limit this in other ways to make it a little bit more manageable. And there's a lot of different limiters that you can use that are available here where it says adjust your results. And what I'll do here is I will limit this to books so that I can show you how to make an iShare request for a book. And I'll apply that filter, but you'll see that there are other ways to limit, for example, language or location. So here's a number of records, and let's go ahead and look at this record, Principles of Animal Research, and I'll open that up. And now we'll be looking at a record that lets us know where this is available and how to get it. And if I sign in using my NetID and password again, I can go to this section that says borrow first available through iShare. And what happens is it pulls in the record and the information, and I just have to hit send request. And then what happens after this is The book will be delivered directly to the main NEIU library currently, and you will receive an email letting you know that it's arrived at your NEIU email account, and then you can pick it up and then renew it online and keep it potentially for the whole semester. I'm not going to send the request right now. And something that I want to note, just under the current circumstances, we have a service set up so that you can pick up your books and then take them home and they will be checked out to you in advance. So even books from Northeastern Illinois University's library, you can place the same request. In fact, you have to. And the process is that we will put them in a bag for you and make them available and send you an email letting you know when you can pick them up. Okay. And then finally, I just want to talk about a couple citation sources. Um, and actually, let me go back to the Northeastern Library webpage so we can look at this general search while I talk. But to cite your sources, you might already be familiar with several style guides that you might be using, such as the MLA Handbook or the Chicago Manual of Style. And these books are available at the library, but there's a lot of tools that are available online to help you set your sources. One really wonderful tool that many people use is the Purdue Owl, which I'll show you here. And that's the Purdue Online Writing Lab that's available at this site, and then the acronym is OWL. So, but they give you tools on how to do the various most used styles for students with great detail and accuracy. But as a graduate student, we do want to let you know that there's a number of software tools that are available, such as Zotero, which I'll go to here, or another tool called EndNote Basic, both of which are free, that help you organize your research by creating an account, and then helps you format in-text citations or even just organize your research by attaching PDFs to your personal account. I would say in general that these tools can be really helpful in your graduate programs, but there is a learning curve, so it may take some time to get familiar with them. So if you are willing to put in the work on the front end, then I would say you can get a lot out of it over the course of your graduate education. So if you have any questions, there are some libraries who are familiar with a number of these tools, although not all of them, so reach out for help. So then, if you are reaching out for help, how do you get it? I would like to show you a spot on the library homepage. It's for Ask a Librarian. So if you want to receive any support from a librarian, from finding a book that you might need for a class to a more involved conversation about a research project or paper, you could start here. There's a number of ways to reach out. You can ask a quick question using our chat feature, which is also here. Hi. Or you could send a text message if maybe there's a quick question that might be easier for you to ask that way. And then we also have research consultations, which we think would be the most useful at the graduate level. So a research consultation is just a meeting with a librarian, and there is a librarian that is assigned to every department that is on campus. We can work with you via chat, email, phone, or Google Meet. And these meetings can be as short as 15 minutes to as long as an hour or more. And many students get a lot out of this, and we get a lot out of it because we can talk very specifically about any challenges you're having with your research or finding resources that you might need. So I will end there, but just wish you the best of luck at NEIU. And we just want to say thank you for tuning in, and take care and enjoy the rest of your graduate program.
Good luck.